What's up, basketball fans? Welcome to the Warrant Report. I have some big news for you today. There's an article that came out by Sports Illustrated yesterday suggesting that the Raptors could be one of the top teams to land Cj Mccollum if the Portland Trail Blazers make him available. So when you look at the odds here for each team, the Raptors are the sixth favorite team to land CJ. Now it's funny how they do these odds because we have not heard about any news regarding the Raptors being interested in CJ. So where exactly do they get these information from, these rumors from? Do they know something we do not? Because I recall a sports betting odd making a similar kind of deal with the Raptors landing Kawhi Leonard before that deal even took place, or we heard any rumors about Kawhi Leonard heading to the Raptors. So are they onto something here? Do they know something that we don't? Well, let's discuss all of that in today's video, and we'll also talk about whether or not Cj Mccollum fits on the Raptors. We'll take a look at some of the positives and negatives, but before we get into the details of this video, you know the deal. Give this video a thumbs up as it helps reach more basketball fans like yourself across YouTube. And if you could hit that subscribe button as well, you're going to be getting the latest Raptors news here, latest rumors, free agency draft videos, as well as other NBA content. So if you want to keep up to date with all of that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. Now, starting the video off on a positive note, let's talk about how Cj Mccollum can help the Raptors. And right off the bat, when you take a look at some of his statistics, he is a bucket getter. We know the Raptors have struggled scoring wise. They struggled at times to produce any sort of offense. So CJ can come in and help in that department right away. He had his career best 23.1 points per game this season. And also speaking about his offense, take a look at his three-point shooting as well. He's a great three-point shooter. For his career, he shot 39.8% from the three-point line. And not only that, but also his two-point field goal percentage as well. He shot 50% from the field on two-pointers, which is great as well because it shows you he does more than just shoot threes. He's a great bucket getter. And we can't talk about Cj Mccollum without talking about how he's played without Damian Lillard. Now, we know Damian Lillard is very ball dominant, but having a look at some of CJ's numbers here without Damian Lillard, in 33 games without Damian, obviously his points per game definitely take a huge leap, which is understandable. But also his assist column take a huge leap as well. This is just a little bit of a sample how he plays when Damian Lillard is not on the court or when he's injured. And these are really good numbers for Cj Mccollum. 28 points, 5 rebounds, 6.2 assists, a steal a game. Now you do see obviously his numbers take a little bit of a dip in that three-point department and his field goal percentage as well. But he's putting up some amazing numbers when Damian Lillard is out, which shows you what he's capable of doing. Now that we focused on the positive, it is time to move on to some of his negatives and why he does not fit with the Raptors at all. And the first and foremost important thing is his salary. So having a look at his salary through the years, he's currently making $29.3 million. Next season, he's going to be making $30 million. And by the time his contract is up, it'll be $35 million, which is a huge deal because it'll really mess up the Raptors salary cap situation. We already have Pascal Siakam making a ton of money. Throwing Cj Mccollum there, and it really kind of handicaps that team situation salary wise anyways, because it doesn't really allow us to add a lot more players onto that roster. Now we do have OG Anunoby locked in, but we definitely need to address some other issues as well. But having a look at his salary, that is quite a bit of salary he's making. And not only that, but if you were to approach a trade for Cj Mccollum, it's going to be very hard to trade for someone who's making $29.3 million. You definitely have to throw Fred VanVleet in there. You'd have to throw in some other contracts as well. But I mean, besides his salary, we can't talk about CJ without talking about his defense. He's not a good defensive player at all. And as I've mentioned, if you're getting rid of Fred VanVleet and you're bringing Cj Mccollum in to replace Fred VanVleet at the point guard position, his defensive reading is not good at all. Take a look on the right screen there where it says DRTG is his defensive rating. 118 the last 2 seasons is downright horrible. It's even worse than DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan, who was not known for his defense, he's even worse than him. So that is not something that's going to fly with Nick Nurse. Not only are you losing Fred VanVleet's defense, you're allowing a lot of points when you get Cj Mccollum. So although he produces a lot of points, he allows a lot of points as well. And when you take a look at the next screen here as well, I want you to have a look at his plus minuses. So when you take a look at that, he is not a good defensive player, as I've mentioned, but just look at his statistics. They're nothing great. When you take a look at his defensive win shares, also his DBPM, which is his defensive plus minus, you take a look at Cj Mccollum, he's been a minus throughout his entire career besides his second season. Teams are doing better with him off the floor, so that is not a good look on Cj Mccollum. So ultimately, I don't think trading for Cj Mccollum makes a lot of sense for the Raptors, just because you're not only giving up a great defensive player in someone like Fred VanVleet, but even let's say if you were to trade someone like Gary Trent Jr., first of all, I don't think the Portland Trail Blazers are taking Gary Trent Jr., so you'd probably have to do a three-way trade of signing and trading Gary Trent Jr. And unless you're throwing other pieces in, like Chris Boucher, accepting Aaron Baines' team option, throwing him in there as well, it makes it really hard to trade for CJ McCollum, because Portland Trail Blazers will not be accepting those kind of trades. You may have to throw in some picks as well, which is not something I want to do. And another thing we do have to talk about with CJ is he is going to be turning 30 years old in September. So do you really want to trade a player who's making not only $30+ million for the next few seasons, he's going to be turning 30 years old, which is unfortunately when you do see a lot of NBA players start dealing with a lot of injuries, and he's not a good defensive player. So how is he going to fit with the Raptors? I don't think he fits in very well. I don't think Nick Nurse is going to like his defensive effort at all. So ultimately, I don't think this is a good match for the Raptors, but I do want to hear your thoughts. So before I end the video, guys, please let me know in the comment section below of how would CJ be on the Raptors. Do you like the fit? Do you not like the fit? Let me know in the comment section. And if you're still watching this video, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.